small comment. Okay, I'd like to read this. It's from the Secretary of State's office. And it says, Dear Mayor Rowland, this is to notify you that a written complaint has been received by Secretary of State Elections Division alleging possible violations of Oregon election laws. The complaint relates to the alleged actions by you and other individuals which may violate ORS 260.432, 260.665, or both. The Secretary of State Elections Division is required to notify the subject of a complaint, ORS 260.345 in parentheses 3. The complaint was received on October 19th. Our office received the complaint and reviewed the complaint and closed the matter.
Objection. We spoke with the Secretary
No,
of State
I'm not
before
talking
yesterday,
to you.
and
Stop.
they said that they sent those letters out in error.
Stop! You will be removed if I have another outburst from you. I'm just saying, this is what I received. Okay. Council, any comments? Gary?
Those of you who were here last time when Mr. Sanders was here from Inbound may remember that I questioned the contract that he had with the city. And since that time, I've had a chance to meet with Sarah Altimus, and she went over some facts that I did not have at my disposal and was not aware of. And so I owe Mr. Sanders an apology, and as soon as I'm feeling a little bit better, I will go talk to him. But he's really making a good contribution to our community, and there were facts that I just didn't have. And Sarah Altimus was kind enough to bring them to my attention. So I just wanted to say that. And also, I don't know, is this, Mayor, is this the place where we add things to the agenda? No? Was that?
Is it something that we can discuss?
Well,
we
yeah,
have?
yeah, we
I
have.
mean, that we have, that we all have had time to study and have information on it, or do we need to?
Well, let me tell you what they are, and then we'll see. How about that? Yeah. I'd like to add to our agenda a review of the interim city administrators. We recall at the last meeting, City Administrator Gomez and our mayor offered to look into that, and so I'm going to ask for their report back on that tonight.
Okay. Right here.
Good. And I also would like to discuss terminating the city law firm and replacing them with an interim firm. We've talked about this before. And I'd also like to review the status of our interim mayor. So those are three things that I'd like to put on our agenda.
Does anybody have any objections to any of those? Okay. Where do I put them?
Let's go ahead and you do 6.4 to report on the status of the interim city administrator.
Okay.
6.5, was that the law firm second? Is that what you had?
Yes.
So 6.5 is law firm discussion. And 6.6 on the mayor discussion.
Okay. Any more comments?
I I'd just like to check and make sure Josh and Kathy heard that. Did you guys hear that?
Yes.
Kathy?
Yes, I heard it.
Thank you.
Okay, any more additions, corrections, and adjustments to the agenda?
Yes, Mayor, I wanna remove, 7.1.
Okay, we're removing, to fill the vacancy on the planning commission.
Correct.
Okay. Any other adjustments? Okay, consent agenda? Anybody?
I move that we accept the consent agenda as written.
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Call for the vote.
Counselor Gobelman,
Aye.
Counselor Carl,
Aye.
Counselor Appa,
Aye.
Counselor McMillan, Counselor McMillan,
Aye.
Counselor Holston. Aye. Mayor Rowland,
Aye.
Counselor Falcon,
Aye.
Motion passes. Okay, we're moving to 6.1, administrative services. 6.1, city administrators report.
Council, you have the report in front of you. If you notice, I put some page numbers on the bottom to guide us a little bit so that as I'm going through this. So basically on page 1, the million-gallon reservoir, where we're at there is that the million-gallon tank, the materials are on site, but they have not started construction of it. So all the materials are there, ready to go. Also, on November the 6th, we'll be having a mediation with Lassie Clifton and one of their subcontractors in regards to the bore under Salmon Creek.
What was that?
So, so there's a
November 6th.
dispute,
When was that? December 6th?
yeah, November 6th.
November 6th, thank you.
And of course, we're still trying to locate a location for a new well. And at present, we're looking in the area of Greenwaters Park, towards that would be the northeast. Yes, the northeast. Around the northeast area of Greenwaters Park, just north of the grove of trees, just north of the tennis courts in that area.
Eric?
So I saw a flag stuck in the ground, and I assume that marks the spot. And so my question is, will that preclude any other development on that site if we wanted to do something else to the well, and it'll just be small, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Not gonna be a large building or a large structure.
Yeah.
We'd be able to, if we wanted to put a community center there, or,
Worst case scenario, I'm gonna predict maybe a 12 by 12 structure.
okay,
And the stake that is in there is just one of the possibilities. Yeah, I favor the possibility of more towards the grove of trees. It's gonna be a brick structure, so I think it'd look better if we could hide it from the trees. But that's still open for discussion. We don't have an exact yet.
okay, thank you.
Page 2, Community Event Center, there's been a couple of gatherings so far. I believe that the goal is to continue to gather more momentum and continue to add more volunteers to the group as they move forward on Community's Event Center. So that's ongoing. I don't have any update on C on page 2, influent infiltration. I do not have an update at this time. The repair of the amphitheater, Rick's been working on that. Looks like he has 2 quotes to do the repair. Get some maintenance on it. Hope to get that done soon. We'd like to do some maintenance on the City Hall and Library, and we may still be able to do that when the Public Works folks get their lift here later on in the next week or 2. Page 3. Burnt Forest Products, lot 37. We went ahead and we're going to go ahead and put the 3-phase power into that facility. We're also sealing the west side of that building. There's some holes, so we are filling those holes in. And then, and we are having some issues with that property lease at this time, and more than likely, actually, well, we're going to be more than likely exercise our default because he is behind on rent. So
What does that mean?
basically, from the lease, is I have to send him a letter, let him know, I have to give him so many days. I'd have to try and catch it. Right, to cure the problem. If not, then we would exercise our 90-day clause on the lease that we're gonna pull out of the lease. So that's where we're at with it. But the facility will be built up and move-in ready. Amtrak Station D, as I still on page 3. We had a gentleman by the name of Chris Zellinger from Community Transportation Association of America in town on the 26th. He discussed the possibilities of a station, but there would be more feasibility study. More data needs to be collected and looked at, but it's still in the queue for the future someday. So still working with him. And he says, just keep trucking, is what he said.
Come back to the block grants there for a minute. Hal and Joanne at Big Mountain asked me to see if they have yet to be paid from this money for the work they did.
I
Said they sent you the receipts and all that.
I do have a document for you, so let me write
Okay,
it.
all right, thank you.
All right. Campground and staging area, they're slowly getting it done. They're about what, 2/3? So about 2/3 completed getting the scalping down and putting down the gravel will come next. But they're about 2/3. It's 75 feet wide, or deep, and 300 foot long. So they're about 2/3 completion of getting everything laid out. So it's ongoing. Page 4. RAIN, Regional Accelerated Innovation Network. As the council had approved $5,000 for that program, they are in the process of hiring a part-time venture catalyst for Eastern Lane County, and they will be spending a good amount of time in the area working with entrepreneurs. So we're at there. Project Plastic, we sent them the letter of intent has been drafted, so they're reviewing the letter of intent for purchase of lot 34, and just waiting to hear back from them. So more to come once we work that through ODAC. Project Pride. On that one, what we're waiting for is just our concurrence letter from USDA approving the sale. Everything else has been completed, And we also had surveyors on those lots, laying out some easements for city use. So that's where we're at on that. Transportation Assistance Plan, Rick, you wanna speak to that since you had a meeting today?
We had our first PAC meeting today. I thought it went great. It was a lot of brainstorming and just getting everybody involved and up to speed and a meet and greet. We will be having 2 public hearings, or public meetings leading into this program. And then at the end, we will have 2 public hearings for any changes being proposed to the land use ordinance in regards to the transportation system plan. So today's meeting went very well, I felt. A lot of great ideas passed around the room, and we should get some notes from that from Kittleson within the next couple of days.
Alright, the Good Company?
Hey, Louis?
Yes,
Can you hear me?
yes.
Can I ask Rick who the members of this review committee for the transportation systems is?
Oh, it's a list of about 15 to 18 people, and I would probably forget a couple if I tried to rattle them off to you right now. And I don't have that information in front of me. I can get it to you, but I don't want to miss anybody, so I'd rather just get that.
Is it okay if he emails it to you?
Is it okay if what?
If he emails the list to you?
Yeah, that would be great. And also, can you tell me if there is any ad hoc, committee members that were just initiated from people who wanted to be a part of it, or we asked for them, or was it all hand chosen?
We have 2 citizens at large, and the rest were people who basically had something to contribute.
So that our at-large members were those that they'd like to ask to participate because they were just general members of the public, or we put it out there for the general members of the public to say they would like to participate? Which way was that?
Well, I'd have to say it was a little bit of both. We had talked about this in multiple
Okay.
meetings, and I did reach out to 2 individuals that I thought would be great for it. One of them is a highway business owner, not owner, but does own a business on the highway. And the other was somebody who was there from the ODOT committee, but decided he did not want to represent ODOT committee, so he became a citizen at large.
Well, thank you, Rick, and I'm glad you're doing this. The only reason I bring it up is that, you know, we are trying to be as transparent as we can, and I think it's important that, the community knows who those members are and understand the process, so thank you.
Sure, there is also a website for this program that I'd be happy to throw a link on our city website, because everything,
that would
all
be
the
great.
information is on
That's a good idea, Rick.
the Kittleson website.
Good Company's doing a great job on working with our wood smoke mitigation coordinator. And they're doing a good job. They're also out there writing grants, for the wood smoke program. They're also, part of their duties are to do our quarterly status reports at DEQ on grant. I don't have any change on C on page 4, no change. Still waiting on the consultants on the Brownsfield sediment test.
I have a question here. I remember Mr. Zimmerman said he had a study done in '08. Anybody remember that? That was about Lake.
Which study? There's many.
Yeah, he said he did a brownfield study on the log ponds and that they were cleared. I'm just, you remember that?
I could kind of answer that question.
Okay.
I don't know what studies were done, but for Fish and Wildlife to give me fish for the kids fishing program, they had to have a sediment study because they believed there was only a study of the water and the fish at that time. So if there was a study, they can't no one found it, and so they had to have a sediment study to let me have some fish. That was the requirement for them to give me some fish.
Okay, thank you.
I'm scheduling a time to get with Peter DeFazio's staff. They're busy, they're on the elections, and he's just trying to make some time available for us to get together on the INPA grant. CMAQ funds, that's on your agenda today. It's part of the purchase of an LTD bus, a bus for Diamond Express. And what happened there is, I'll just touch on it, is that Federal Highway Administration, Oregon Department of Transportation, and LTD were able to speak with the Federal Transportation Administration and get them to loosen up some CMAQ funds that belong to the city of Oakridge so that we could purchase a refurbished bus. And so I'll do a more thorough staff report when we get to that agenda item. Emergency ops plan, one of the last things I want to do is present that to you all at the next meeting. And if you've been on our website, you'll notice that the buttons have changed. We made some adjustments on the opening page to where you can actually find things. For example, if there's a council vacancy or any type of vacancies, you can get on there and find those things now. So they've been working with us to navigate a little better. First impressions, I don't have anything on that. I-5 signage, Rick, what was included as part of your transportation systems plan today?
That was one of the thoughts that was tossed around the room, was creating policy that would make the 58 corridor through our part of town a historic or scenic route to Crater Lake, thank you. So that was discussed today, just as ideas being thrown out. That is something that we will probably venture down that road as part of this transportation system plan.
Okay, system development charges. So I've gathered some, a list of consultants so far for that. Not ready to present anything, probably just pass that on. The codification of ordinances, that'd probably be to pass on also. And the RFP for administrative audit, it got pushed back a little, but I'm back on it, and I should have that done within the middle of next week, so that the council can look at an RFP for that. So, and that's all I have.